Welcome to your Skinfold caliper tutorial. Now, you already have some available to you, but this one's a little more specific to the type of calipers you have in your kin kits. Again, this one might be a little different than what you have, but just to show you a little closer up. When you're actually taking your measures, you're going to want to be sure that you're quite light on the calipers. And mine actually has this little slider scale, which is really useful. So I'm essentially going to have the Skinfold here. As I squeeze, it's going to move the indicator for me. Yours might be attached to the arm, doesn't matter. So again, I'm going to squeeze, and I'm going to actually watch this closest. So just as you get to the point where it just clicks into that slot, that's where you want to stop, okay? So if you over squeeze a little too hard, you notice that I pressed that indicator quite a bit farther than I wanted to, okay? So as far as the mechanisms of the Skinfold caliper itself, that's the way we'll be going. So I'll set the indicator farthest out. Then when you do the Skinfold measure itself, you want to follow a very particular order. So now if you can turn around, great, thanks. So we're going to do a scapular or shoulder blade measure. And again, you want to hold the caliper in your right hand and use your left hand to pinch, always working on the right side of the person's body. Now I've done this quite often, so you'll notice I haven't made a little marker with a water soluble, not a permanent marker on my client or volunteer here. But I'm going to landmark the shoulder blade. So if I'm having troubles with that, I'll just ask you to squeeze back your shoulders a bit. Good. Kind of shrug up a little. Good, and then back down. Good. Okay. So again, you can find the person's shoulder blade by working across, feeling down the border as well. It'll be the little part that sticks out there. From there, I'm just going to go work down and find a nice angle right along the border of the scapula. I'm going to take a fairly broad hold. So there's two schools of thought. There's C and V. So you notice the V is fairly closed. The C can be quite sharp if you have fingernails. So I typically go with the V pinch. Little bit of an angle, and essentially just pull the skin out away from the body, okay? From there, I'm going to go in right beside my fingers, little squeeze, just like pull the calipers away, and then my hand, okay? Don't ever leave the calipers on without having your hand there, okay? And yeah, that's essentially how you do that. Again, work through all the sites on one side of the body first, then return to it and go through it a second time for your second measure.